garden today, and I'm going to be turning everything into a winter wonderland. I don't even have a mic on. I'm just going to go for it and decorate. I plan on doing all of my decorating, my swags, my pots, everything, and just letting you see how it goes. So there's really not going to be much commentary here because otherwise I'll never stop talking. But I did want to mention that before I do anything, we had some cold that froze the leaves rather than having them drop on the wee white hydrangeas here, and they just look really bad. So I'm going to go along, like you see this one is bare, I'm going to go along and just intentionally defoliate all the wee whites here so that they look a little nicer. They're going to drop the leaves anyway. I'm just going to speed up the process. So from here on, I'm zipping it and I'm going to get to decorating. Okay, so here's a quick tip. Every year, so I know where to swag this up, I twisted green pipe cleaner on here to make it easier on myself so that it's kind of sort of in the right area and I don't have to keep adjusting the swag. So I did that just to kind of help myself draping from year to year. Okay, I'm just trying to find which end is the plug end, which is that end, which I know goes in that corner. This is one continuous run that I pieced together, added more lights to it, so it's one huge run, and now you get to see me just trying to figure out how to drape this thing along. And before I even get started, I'm plugging this in to make sure it works because goodness knows I have draped garland and then had to go along and twist new lights on top with the dead string still attached, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to go get a cord and test the lights. Good. Yay! Okay, so I just wanted to take one quick minute to explain how I do this. So first with the ribbons, I know you could kind of take the ribbon and loop it around the whole thing, but this wreath is so bulky that what I did was I cut strips of ribbon and I hot glued it with a lot of hot glue to the back of the wreath. And then I ran up some heavy gauge paddle wire up behind the ribbon just to give it some extra stability. So you've got the ribbon on top and the paddle wire running in the middle up behind it. I pull it through the top of the window and lock the window down. So the ribbon is coming through the top. Now to light these, I don't know if you can see, I gotta tack it up a little bit better, but what I did was I got one of those green extension cords you see where for Christmas usually where they have like an outlet and an outlet and an outlet all down the line for like to run up the trunk of your Christmas tree. So I took one of those and some command strips and I ran it along the top of the window here, and then I kind of pin the wire through the command strips, kind of loop it through the command strips, and then each plug goes in each one of those outlets. Then it runs down the side of the window here, and I have it plugged into one of those Wemo timers. So all this stuff is going to be on Wemo timers, which is awesome. It makes everything automated, and I don't have to touch anything, which is great. And now behind the ribbon, okay, so I bought these wreaths, and it had like really weak LED in it, so I just wrapped white lights around each one. So when you run the lights behind the ribbon, the lights at nighttime would still shine through the ribbon, and it just looked really kind of tacky and didn't look very good. So they have these little black caps. I'll put a link on my Amazon page, matter of fact, because that's where I got them. There's these little black shields that slip over your incandescent lights for your light strings here. So it's just a little black cap, and it just blocks out the light. So I have that running up behind the ribbon, so that way there's not an obnoxious glow from the light bulbs at nighttime. But so far, so good. Waiting for these to make a complete hedge. They used to be very, very defined, 1, 2, 3, and I've been letting them mesh and grow together. So, you know, you can still see some spots here where they haven't yet transitioned into one another, but ultimately that's the goal. You know how people always get these deer and stuff, and like 9 times out of 10 they're falling over on the ground? I do not go with the metal landscape staples. I use plastic pins, and I'm also probably going to shore it up by tying some fishing line to various places, you know, wrap it around the deer's neck there and kind of tie it to a shrub. I will do that if I see things start to get tippy. Every year I'm using the fishing line and securing my, these are deer are new for this year, I should say. But every year I have things blowing over just like everyone else, and I go out with the fishing line and I just tether it up and tie it to a shrub or one of the posts or something. Okay, so here's the plan for the one here. Since it's not going into the soil, I'm not going to use the pins. I'm going to use landscape staples. I got 2 sizes. These will not fit. This paver path is not set in concrete or mortar, so it's just got like the polymer sand filling in between the cracks here. So I'm able to use my rubber mallet and just stake these down. I already got one in here now. And I'm just gonna go ahead, I put one pin into the soil here, and then I'm gonna take the landscape staples and do the other 3 legs. Get the staples in. What I love about these is they look like they're wicker, they look like they're rattan, and they're not, which I think is really cool. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about our buddy Frosty here. This hat is not his original hat. So last year I purchased this snowman. I'm not going to disclose the store. I purchased it online. It came with a burlap hat, kind of to match his burlap body. And it was red, so, you know, we got some snow, we got some rain. And my son comes home with his father and he says, "Mommy, the snowman outside is pink." Oh, so I ran out and I didn't know what to do. So I got like OxyClean, believe it or not, because this is burlap. So I got like OxyClean spray and I sprayed all over the snowman. And you can't even tell now, but it looked tie-dyed. It was like pink, it was atrocious. So I cut the old burlap hat off. And this is actually not a hat. It is a Santa sack. So I got a Santa sack and I made it look like a hat because I was desperate, and tied a new scarf on because the other scarf was that red burlap as well and causing all the mess. So I removed that, I put this new scarf on, and I just kind of twisted around a Santa sack to make it look like a Santa Claus hat. That was the best I could come up with, and I think it looks cute. So my own unique spin on it, and I fixed it. So these are new for me from Gardener Supply. I got a bunch of these like copper wire LED, and I think I'm gonna try and do them in the boxwood. If it works, and I hope it does, then you'll see it here. And if not, if I have some problems, then you won't see them here. I just don't know how it's gonna go because I've never put lights in these boxwood before this year.